Across Tasmania, this is Win News.
Tonight, Sue Hickey's Liberal loyalty tested during an emotional abortion debate. It was set for a multi-million-dollar facelift while the Richmond Maze has become an abandoned eyesore. And Luke Jackson all but confirms the details of his world title fight. Good evening, I'm Brent Costelloe, but first, as we go to air, the Greens are pushing in Parliament for a pause on all new Airbnb accommodation. But Tasmania's local government association says it's a waste of time because so few people bother getting permits anyway.
One is concerned about accommodation for tourists, the other accommodation for families. But on short stay accommodation, right now Tasmania's tourism industry and welfare groups are on the same page. The government says it will. Alison Costelloe, Win News.
The state government has avoided a showdown with Maverick Speaker Sue Hickey during debate on the restoration of surgical abortion services in Tasmania. In a deadlocked vote, the Liberals secured Ms Hickey's support by promising to undertake further investigations.
It was viewed as the first test of Sue Hickey's loyalty to the Liberal Party. Labor seeking to force the Health Minister Michael Ferguson to reinstate surgical abortions in the public health system by July 1.
The state government says there'll be an additional $20 million in tomorrow's budget to address family violence. The announcement comes after Treasurer Peter Gutwin told Parliament he'll deliver a surplus of $75 million.
The budget has never been in better shape. Madam Speaker, we'll deliver a surplus in each and every year of the forward estimates.
Police have launched a search and rescue operation in Tasmania's northeast for a missing 52-year-old man. Sean Erwin Mansell left the property at Swain Hill near Pioneer on foot on Monday morning and hasn't been heard from since. Police fear he may have become disoriented and got lost in the area. Anyone with information should come forward. A post-mortem carried out on 12 penguins found dead in a bin at Low Head last week has found their injuries were consistent with a dog attack. Wildlife rangers are continuing to investigate the incident and are working with the local council to conduct patrols of the coastal reserve. Richmond is traditionally among the top recommendations for tourists visiting southern Tasmania. However, faced with increasing competition, the historic town and the valley it lies in are having to move with the times, tonight seeing the launch of a new brand. But one of Richmond's most promising developments has come to a standstill.
When you look around, the Coal River Valley really isn't a tough sell. Its 32 vineyards already attract all kinds of tourists.
Construction of the pedestrian bridge crossing Launceston's North Esk River is progressing fast, with the largest span of the $3.6 million bridge lifted into place today. Once complete, it will link Launceston's Seaport precinct to a new public park. Ahead on Win News, the leaders of tomorrow come together to tackle climate change and national attention for the Hobart boy behind an initiative keeping the homeless warm. Welcome back. Taking a look at what's making news outside the state now. Donald Trump has declared his meeting with Kim Jong-un a success after the leaders signed a denuclearisation agreement. 50 officers are scouring bushland near where William Tyrrell went missing in 2014. The Prime Minister will deliver a national apology to victims and survivors of institutional child sexual abuse in October. And Australia's new look cricket team, led by Tasmanian Tim Payne, begins its one-day series against England tonight. The 29-year-old man has touched down in Hobart after being extradited from Queensland to face drug trafficking and firearms charges. Tasmanian officers and their Queensland counterparts arrested the man at a property on the Gold Coast on Monday with illicit substances and Bitcoin allegedly seized. Police say the arrest is in relation to a number of drug importation incidents earlier this year. The man is expected to appear in court tomorrow. More than 250 students from 24 schools across Tasmania have taken part in the state's first Youth Climate Leaders Conference. The event empowering young people to undertake on-the-ground activities in their schools to help the environment.
The leaders of tomorrow coming together to tackle the issues of today.
The 10-year-old Hobart boy behind an initiative helping those doing it tough staying warm this winter says he's overwhelmed by the support he's received. Oliver Edwards is now encouraging others to roll out free on a tree in their communities.
It's a simple concept that's already had remarkable results.
I heard about the flood damage and people camping on the showgrounds, and I thought I could help them by giving them something warm.
And you can catch Oliver and Mum Kathy on the project next on Win. To celebrate Dark Mofo, Willie Smiths has released a new cider. Like the festival, it says the Bone Dry cider is both bold and brave.
Unique to the Huon Valley, this drop is sure to warm the taste buds this winter.
One man that'll be racing out for some of that is Jake Keating, who's here for sport now, and it's going to be a shootout in the Siebel on Friday night, Jake.
Absolutely, Brent. That's, of course, when the Hobart Chargers take on the Melbourne Tigers. We'll have more on that up next. Also tonight, another Tasmanian bound for an A-League club. Welcome back. Another Tasmanian player could be lighting up the A-League in the next few years after signing on with one of the competition's most powerful clubs. Antonio Saracino put pen to paper with Sydney FC at the weekend, and after a whirlwind few days, the 16-year-old will leave the state for good tomorrow.
Saracino has spent the past 3 weeks training with Sydney FC, and the A-League Giants like what they saw, signing the Tasmanian for their highly respected academy.
In a mouth-watering Siebel matchup, the league's top 2 point scorers will go head-to-head when Hobart hosts Melbourne on Friday night. Chargers guard Trey Nichols will be out to steal the #1 mantle from Tigers' point-scoring machine, Tom Wilson. Chargers star Trey Nichols is just 3 points behind the league's leading scorer, Tom Wilson. And Brent, that wraps up Midweek Sport.
Thank you very much, Jake. Stay with us. I'll have all your weather details after the break. Welcome back to the weather now, and King Island reached 15 today, slightly cooler for Flinders. It was 13 degrees in Burnie and Devonport, the same for Launceston. St Helens reached 14, a degree warmer for Swansea, 11 for Oatlands in the west, showers for Strawn and Queenstown, and Hobart reached 14 after 6 overnight. The satellite shows a cold front approaching Tasmania from the west with a lingering trough to the south. On the water tomorrow, northwesterly winds for the north with 2 to 3 metre seas. 20 to 30 knot winds for the east, seas could reach 2.5 metres with southerly swells. In the south, northwesterly winds and 2 to 3 metre seas, and 20 to 30 knot winds for the west, swells could reach 4 metres. A gale warning is current for northern coastal waters from Sandy Cape to the northern tip of Flinders Island, and a strong wind warning is current for remaining coastal waters with the exception of the southeast coast. It'll be wet and wild across the state tomorrow, storms and 14 for King Island, rain and 13 for Flinders. Burnie can also expect a storm tomorrow. Devonport and Launceston should reach 13 degrees. Rain for the east coast, 14 the top for St Helens and Swansea. Wet 2 in the west, Strawn 14, Queenstown 12 and showers and 13 for Hobart. Interstate tomorrow, showers for Canberra, Melbourne and Adelaide, mainly fine elsewhere. And looking ahead back home, wet weather in the northwest for the rest of the week before things fine up on Sunday. Good news if you're in Launceston this weekend, with Saturday and Sunday both fine days, and Hobart has showers forecast right through until Tuesday with top temperatures between 10 and 14 degrees. And that is Win News for this Wednesday. To keep up to date with Tasmania's news, you can follow us on social media. I'm Brent Costelloe on behalf of the Win News team. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.